we go live from this? I think I have to go live from my phone.
Oh, is that how it works?
About to go live right now. 90 days to MoMA. Screenshot and go to this address. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. About to go live right now. 90 days to MoMA. Screenshot and go to this address. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. Okay, let's do it. Yo, Blake Jamieson here. 90 days to MoMA. What are we on, day 17?
Day 17.
Day 17. So, I decided to switch it up a little bit for a couple reasons. Number one, I definitely want to experiment with Facebook Live with this whole project. I think that publishing it in near real time is awesome, and publishing it in real time could be even awesomer. So here's what I want to do real quick. I'm going to give a super quick rundown or summary of this project, and then I'm going to talk about why we're doing live today instead of the typical episode that Matt usually films. Then I'm going to talk about things that I've learned so far from having a filmmaker in my house every single freaking day for the last 16 days. And then we'll do a Q&A. So it's going to be fun. I don't know how long it'll go. I guess it kind of depends on the questions and stuff. But I really appreciate you tuning in. So for anybody that's not familiar with my project, it's called 90 Days to MoMA. And the goal is to break into the San Francisco mainstream art scene and get my art into SF MoMA and do it all in just 90 days, which is a pretty ridiculous goal because a lot of artists make it a lifetime goal. And honestly, it's just a very, very popular and huge museum. It's got Pablo Picasso and Andy Warhol and Chuck Close and Ansel Adams, and like just everyone in there is a legend. So if I can make it in there in 90 days, I think that would be a record. So the project is going really well so far. We publish one video every single day, and until now, they've been edited short films that my filmmaker Matt makes every day. And so we shoot in the morning, and then in the evening we edit, and then the next day we publish at 12 noon for the yesterday's footage. So the reason that I'm doing today's video live is because yesterday we had a ridiculously awesome day, but it went super duper late. We didn't get home until 1:30-ish in the morning, and it was awesome, but the reality is with I don't know how many hours of footage from the day and getting home at 1:30, it wasn't practical to publish the short film from yesterday today at noon. So I decided to do this, talk about what I've learned so far in this project, and that way it gives Matt, who by the way is here editing the footage from yesterday so that we can publish that tomorrow. So day 16 and day 17 are going to be flip-flopped. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Okay, so having a filmmaker in my house every single day. What's up, Dylan? How's it going, man? Appreciate the beats, keep them coming. Having a filmmaker in my house every single day has forced me to live differently and think differently and all kinds of things. It's just like, it's a different life than I'm used to. I'm not afraid of being on camera. I never have been. Before Matt, I was walking around filming myself all day, but it's a lot different filming yourself than having someone follow you around and film. So, Bruce, what's going on, man? Really appreciate your support on this project. Thank you for joining and tuning in. We're just getting into things that I've learned having a filmmaker live in my house and film me all day long, every day. The first thing actually pertains directly to that, and that is always be recording. At first, we thought, well, since we have to publish a film every day, we'll be kind of selective about what we record, and that way, at the end of the day, it's going to be easier. We won't have as much footage to go through. But quickly, what started happening was like the craziest, unexpected things happen in the times when you don't plan for it. That's what makes them unexpected. And those are like the coolest moments sometimes. And so we've really adopted the mentality of always be recording. And so that makes post-production more time consuming and harder, but it also makes sure that we don't miss any key moments, which is really cool. The other thing that I've learned that Matt kind of has taught me is that sound is really more important than video. So if we go and we have a good conversation with somebody in the art world, in this case, if the video is blurry or the video is messed up, but we have solid audio, we can very easily still use the footage or use the audio and clip it together. If the sound sucks and it's completely, or we don't get sound for some reason, like we've had the lav mic battery has died and we only get video, it's really hard to use that footage at all because we don't have sound. So sound is super important, and having it really high quality totally adds to the quality of a production, more than I had known before this project started. Oh, are you serious? It says trying to reconnect. Okay, reconnected. Sorry about that, guys. Next thing that I learned is production of these films takes longer than I anticipated. Matt is a very talented filmmaker and way faster than me for editing. And the one day that he was gone and I shot myself, I think that was on day 7 maybe, and edited, it was crazy. I mean, I only filmed until 4 or 5 p.m. and I was still up until midnight editing. And I think that's like the worst edited video that we have so far. So post-production takes way longer. And so now, you know, if I had an unlimited budget, I would love to have 2 videographers so that one could start editing halfway through the day and then Matt could keep following me around or something. But not realistic for this particular project, but good to know if you want to make daily videos to definitely leave enough time for production. Also during this, guys, if any of you guys have any questions, we can make the Q&A go throughout the whole thing. So you can comment with questions and I will see them and answer them right away. Okay, other stuff. So, you know, I thought about being an artist and what that would make my daily routine like. And I didn't predict it properly in that, like, I hoped, and I still hope, that my days end up being primarily painting because that's what I want to do. And then probably networking with other people in the art scene. And so I hoped that with hiring a filmmaker that part could kind of be put to the side and then I could work on the art and the networking. But the reality is, to pursue art full time, to become an artist, there's a lot of technical aspects, and it's not just it outside of like the filmmaking stuff, which is optional. And obviously, like, artists don't have to do that to become an artist. You just become, you know, you start painting and pursuing your craft. But there's so many technical things, probably with any career, but definitely in art, that are coming up along the way. So that's like making a website, which I definitely should have done way before this project, and I just made like a Tumblr site. Now, you know, we're day 17, I'm finally getting a site designed. Photographing art and getting really nice images of art is art in itself. It's like, it's hard to get the camera perfectly, like to get everything like perfectly square. I was out today, actually this morning, taking photos of some of the stencils that I've done and the pieces. It's just not simple, and not something that I like thought in advance, like, oh, I need to allocate a bunch of time to like document the art that I'm creating. Press and marketing, I mean, anything that you do, you gotta kind of promote and market, otherwise it's not gonna get out there. I know as a digital marketer that takes time, so I was anticipating it, but because that's what I've done as a career, I thought that part would be easy. But I don't know, even it being like my own job, it has been my own job for a long time, I think I underestimated how much time that takes. And so right now, I hired a publicist, and I'm starting to build my team. And I think that that's important when you're going to take, cutting out again, huh? My internet keeps cutting out. It's important to build a team, I think, when you're trying to pursue art full time, and it's not always practical or realistic if you don't have a budget. But the cool thing with this project and with my project is I'm really like putting myself out there with these daily videos, and have got a lot going into trying to reach a wide audience. And so a lot of people recognize that and see a chance for exposure or networking. And so I've gotten a lot of support and help from people that either they're working way cheaper than they could be because they are passionate about the project, or in some cases people have volunteered to help. And that is extremely humbling and ridiculously amazing. And I think that if another artist who maybe wasn't doing this, but was really passionate about their craft and good and committed, they probably have some core friends that could help out in different ways. And so building a team is super important, and it's something that I'm still working on, but I'm really excited about the people that we're bringing on board so far. Something else that I've learned, which is interesting and always been a huge problem or struggle for me, is learning when and how to say no. I've always been the type of person where if somebody asks me for something, if I have the ability to do it, I will say yes. The problem is now, especially with this project and getting a lot of visibility, I've got a lot of people coming out of the woodworks, or strangers completely, just being like, hey man, I'd love to set up a phone call and pick your brain, or let's catch up. And so in the past, I've always said yes to things as long as I have the ability to do them. But what I need to understand now, I think, is that do I really have the capacity to do them? And I think that those are two different things. And the truth is, with this project, I don't really have the capacity to like get my brain picked if it's not pertinent to this project. And again, it's so hard for me, and I'm still like struggling with it every single day of balancing like when I can squeeze in a quick 5-minute or 10-minute Skype with someone, or just say, hey man, I can't really do it until after this project. And so that's an ongoing thing. I'm definitely still learning how to say no better. Artist thing, it gets really expensive to do the paintings that I'm doing because I'm moving to bigger and bigger canvases. Canvases are very expensive. And so something that I would like to start doing is stretching my own canvas. I actually talked to my friend Marissa, who is in day 13, I think, day 12 episode, and she stretched canvases before, and she said that she would come and teach me how to do it. So that is exciting, something to look forward to in a future episode. But, whether it's paying and buying canvases and paying a bunch of money, or paying less money and then spending my time stretching canvases, either way, it's resource heavy, and I almost feel like time is my more limited asset right now. And that's why I'm like building a team, and if I have to pay somebody to do something that saves me time so that I can spend more time painting, that's cool. But ultimately this all just boils down to like being an artist is expensive, and more expensive than I anticipated. The paint, luckily, spray paint's expensive kind of, but it lasts a long time. And I've got a lot of the cans that I've been using for months because I'll just do a quick little layer and it'll be like one thing. Dylan said, where am I finding my team members? Primarily social media. I had a post a couple weeks ago, or a week ago maybe, that said, I'm looking to hire some people. There are some roles that I would like to fill. So I got a lot of responses from that. I also have just had like some random people that see the project that have gone out of their way to just hit me up and message me and say, hey, I love what you're doing. I would love to support you in any way possible. Sometimes they just say like, tell me what you need to do and I'll help do it. And sometimes they say, I have a specific idea. Let's do this. I prefer the latter, because if they have a specific idea, then it's going to be less like to manage them, which is awesome. Does that make sense, Dylan? So, really just social networking primarily. Other thing that I'm learning about, and definitely haven't cracked the code or figured out yet, is copyright laws and pertaining to art. Specifically, like if a photographer takes a photo and then I do a stencil of it, can I do the stencil of it? Do I have to get written permission? Can I do it and not profit, not make it commercial, and just like post it on social media? Or can I sell it? Or like how all that works? And it's crazy. Sometimes when I use photos from other photographers, it's what I believe to be considered a derivative work. And if the end stencil is not recognizable, like you cannot tell what photo it was from, then there's not a problem. But if it's easily recognizable to be like, oh, that was that photo by that particular person, then there's definitely copyright issues. And the law about art is ridiculous. There's even something in California that really is a law where anytime a dealer or a gallery sells a piece of art, they have to reserve 5% of the sale and give it to the original artist that made it. Even if it had been donated or sold, ended up there, every time that sale happens, the artist is supposed to get 5%. Now, if they can't track down the artist, then there's an artist council. And again, this is just California law, an artist council that they're supposed to give the 5% to and say, this is the artist, we can't find them. And then the artist council will try to track that person down and pay them the 5%. I've never heard of that before. I had no idea that was the law. I don't know if people follow it or not. But again, it's just something that I'm learning as I go, is like copyright complicates things. And so to get past that and not have to worry so much about breaking the law, because I don't want to, I'm starting to take more photos myself and use them. And I've done that with a lot of the more recent things that I've done, which is good because then it's no question. I have the copyright, I took the photo. I would need to get a model release, obviously, if I take a photo of a model. And the other thing is like collaborating with local photographers. So like last night at a Pete Rock concert, which was amazing, which is why we were out until 2 a.m. By the way, our press passes got us in there for free and in the front row and permission to video. So that was like super epic. But I met a guy who is a photographer and photographs hip hop artists, and he said he wants to collaborate. He would love to see his work as stencils so I could get written express permission to use them, which would be awesome. Dan, love the concept. Please talk about how you can be a value add to your team, vendor, and co-conspirators. If I understand correctly, how I will help those team members, I think that the main reason that people are getting involved and joining the 90 Days to MoMA team is because they believe in like the end goal. Vendors, they believe in the end goal and they believe in the project, and they see that it's getting visibility and attention, and so it could be an option. It could be an opportunity for someone that maybe doesn't have a huge audience to get in front of a pretty big audience, because with my background in digital marketing, I've gotten a decent following on different social media networks, and so when I publish these videos, they get moderately wide distribution channels. And so if somebody that maybe hasn't worked on big projects or doesn't have a big audience themselves, then it could be an opportunity for them to get in front of more people, have something else for the resume. Or, I mean, literally people have joined or said that they're willing to join just because they want to develop a relationship with me to kind of have, they didn't say this, but ultimately like a favor in the bag. And that's totally cool. Oh, it looks like my connection is weak. I hope that comes back. So hopefully that answered the question. Vendors, I don't know if you mean vendors or sponsors. I am seeking sponsors for this project, and originally I was going to I pitched and tried to get sponsors to sponsor the entirety of the project for a pretty big price tag. But I timed that really poorly, because I reached out on Memorial Day weekend, and I basically was like, you got to decide in 48 hours because this project is about to start. So now what we're doing, and I have a new team member that's going to take the lead on this, is reaching out to companies to sponsor individual episodes or a week's worth of episodes or that kind of thing, which would be cool because that way a company doesn't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to sponsor the whole project. They would just be paying hundreds of dollars to sponsor one, and then if it gives them the results that they want and they like the end result and the episode and the visibility they get, then hopefully they would do more. And for that, it'll be kind of like, I imagine, like the Tim Ferriss podcast, where he says, this episode is sponsored by blah, 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 and then he'll do a little kind of shout out about that company and explain what they do and how he uses them. It's super important to me that any sponsors that I were to take on would be like very in line with like my core beliefs and a product and or service or whatever that I actually use. I'm not just going to let any random company sponsor an episode if it's not a good like culture fit. So let me know if that's what you meant by vendors. If not, then I'll try and answer it. I mean, honestly, like those are like the biggest lessons that I learned. So if anyone else has questions, definitely down to hit them up. Meanwhile, Matt over there editing. Dude, the Pete Rock concert was so cool. The promoter loved what we were doing. How's my mom doing? Oh man, my mom is awesome. She went out to get some things for the garden. She's been doing a lot of gardening lately, and the front yard is looking epic. We've gotten a bunch of mulch delivered, and she's planting new plants and stuff. So my mom is good. She's super stoked about this project, and really proud of it, and had some really good feedback too on the project so far. For example, the Raw Artist Showcase, rawartist.org. I submitted to it, I got accepted to it, and then I was excited at first, and then I had second thoughts because I'm like, well, an artist in MoMA wouldn't do a Raw Artist Showcase. Do I want to try and just do things that big artists would do? And I think that she added some really good clarity to say like, well, yeah, they wouldn't do it now, but they did back then, and you're on this fast forward thing, and right now you should get as much exposure as possible. So ultimately, me accepting and deciding to do the Raw Artist Showcase, which middle of next month, was because of a conversation with my mom and my sister, which unfortunately we didn't film. It goes back to one of the lessons learned of always be filming if you're doing this kind of thing. Phone call. Smart mom. Yeah, I'd say my mom is the smartest.
Call from
She's awesome.
telephone and wife.
Oh, that's John's mom. Speaking of moms,
Call from telephone
sorry guys,
and wife.
we'll let this phone ringing settle out. I'm not gonna answer it right now. So I'm excited. The other thing too, give you guys a sneaky peeky because you're live. I've got two super big canvases, really big. Well, I think they're really big, bigger than anything I've done. One's 4 foot by 4 foot, and one's 3 foot by 4 foot. And they're super deep dish gallery canvases, and they were expensive, and they arrived. So I'm working on two new art pieces that are really very, very different than the things that I've done in the past. It is going to have a little bit of stencil on it, but that's not really kind of the whole thing. And I'm just really excited. It's taking kind of experiences that have evolved because social media exists and because digital marketing exists, and now we have these experiences that really only happen online and only happen because of online, and I'm taking those, trying to translate those to canvas, to more traditional art, and it's going to be cool. I think that the reality is, like, if MoMA said right now, Blake, we love what you're doing, we'll put you on the walls, drop off your piece or pieces, there's nothing that I've painted that I would put in MoMA right now. And if MoMA were to do that, I'd be like, shit, I got to finish a few new pieces. But these two pieces, in my mind, are going to be MoMA-worthy pieces. And it's cool because it's like different than anything I've done and anything that I've seen, which is important, you know, to be differentiated from everyone else. Hassan asks, bro, how are you verified on Facebook? Well, Hassan, there's a video on my Facebook page that tells how I got verified. I used the Facebook Mentions app, which, again, the video on my page says how to do it. Download the Mentions app, then you can submit through there and just follow directions. It's pretty simple. Also, if you just Google how to get verified on Facebook, it'll link you to an online submission form, and you just gotta fill out the form. You set your page as a public figure. It has to be the same name as on your government ID, and then you submit it with your government ID. It's pretty simple stuff. So that's pretty much it. About those big pieces, let's see. My friend stretches his own canvas and they turn out amazing. Plus saves him hella dough. Yeah, actually, we were talking about that just earlier. In the things that I've left, one of the things is like painting is super expensive. I've thought about stretching my own canvas, but I wanted someone to like be able to teach me. And yesterday we were back at Caldwell Snyder Gallery and we talked to Marissa again, and she was actually like laid out a bunch of canvases that were waiting to be restretched. And I said, who does your restretching? And she says, I do. And I say, perfect. Can you teach me how to do it? And she said, absolutely. And so she's going to come over probably sometime next week and teach me how to stretch canvases. I talked to my dad about it too. He said that he's done it. He like restretch canvases because he'll buy art from overseas that'll come in a little tube. He'll re-stretch. His concern was that the bigger the size of canvas, the harder it is to get a frame that's perfectly square. But I think that if I buy the tension rails or whatever they're called, the actual boards, like pre-cut, for now I'm not going to cut my own. Eventually I would like to. But yeah, I mean, stretching my own canvas I think is going to be a necessity if I continue to do the volume of art that I would like to do on the canvas sizes I would like to do. It's just going to get ridiculously expensive really quickly. So 100% want to do that and plan to starting next week. What else we got? All right. Well, I think we're pretty set for today. So tomorrow's episode is actually going to be from yesterday. Friend makes a jig. I'm not sure what that is actually. I'll have to Google it. So the episode tomorrow that's posted on Sunday is actually going to be from Friday. And the reason why, because we stayed out until 2 o'clock at a Pete Rock show, which was amazing. And our press pass, by the way, shout out to Max and Apollo, who's commenting now and engaging, and also is the reason why we made this press pass and who gave me the idea for it, worked like a charm the third time. First 2 times at art events like the Jazz Center, we tried to go and film some jazz concert, and they're like, yeah, you can come in with that pass, but you have to give us ahead of time so we can check with the artists. But we went to the Pete Rock show, and I talked to the promoter, and he's like, yeah man, come on in, here's a little spot up front that's like kind of by the roped off section, and it was freaking epic. So we're flip-flopping the 2 episodes. Friday's episode will come out Sunday. Saturday's episode today obviously is live right now. So thank you guys, everyone that tuned in. Really appreciate, especially you, Maxon. You're fucking awesome. Appreciate it, man. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of work on your video. Yeah, but 90 days to MoMA. Don't sleep on this project. It's gonna be awesome. Stay awesome. Yo, Blake Jamieson here. 90 days to MoMA. What are we on, day 17?
Day 17.
Day 17. So, I decided to switch it up a little bit for a couple reasons. Number one,
Yep.
I definitely want to experiment with Facebook Live with